Call the meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening. I'd like to welcome everybody to the August 13th meeting of the Rhinebeck Village Board. Our first item on our agenda is County Legislator Joel Tyner, but I would like to start out first with thanking Joel and thanking the Chairman of the Dutchess County Legislature, Rob Rollison. I'm sure you folks may have read in the paper or seen on the village website, press release I did, our former Mayor John Costa passed away on August 6th. And I had gone to the Dutchess County office building yesterday to view the opening of the Dutchess County History exhibit, which is outside the legislature chambers, and then I did attend the meeting last night and had asked Joel to, if he could perhaps have a moment of silence or a recognition of Mayor Costa's service. And Joel was kind enough to ask the chairman of the legislature, Rob Rollison, and they both agreed that they would do so. So at the adjournment of the meeting last night, Joel very kindly read off this obituary for John, and the meeting was adjourned in John's honor. So I just want to share some things that are in this obituary. I'm not going to read the entire thing. John had passed away on August 6th in Cumming, Georgia, and he was preceded in death by his beloved wife, Elizabeth, better known as Teddy Costa, on April 6, 2012. John enjoyed a long and distinguished military career as an infantry officer and retired in 1989 from West Point as a brigadier general, following a 10-year assignment as permanent professor and head of the foreign language department. John and Teddy actively enjoyed the next 20 years living and working in Rhinebeck, New York, before health issues required them to relocate to Canton, Georgia to be closer to family. Surviving family members, of course. He was born May 7th, 1925, and he and I shared the same birth date. John was a good friend to me. He and I were Rotary Club members here in Rhinebeck for a number of years, and that's how I got to know him, and we always got to celebrate our birthdays together at Rotary. A little bit more of his history. In 1943, he volunteered for Air Cadet training, was commissioned a second lieutenant in 1944, and served in World War II in the Army Air Corps until 1945. World War II was over, and what did John decide to do? He resigned his commission in order to join the Corps of Cadets at West Point, graduating in June of 1949 and being commissioned a second time as an officer in the infantry. He then embarked on a distinguished military career, which included leadership and command positions from platoon through brigade, as well as service and high-level staff assignments in many locations around the world. His numerous awards and citations include the Legion of Merit, the Silver Star, and the Bronze Star. Upon his retirement from West Point in 1989, John had this distinction of being the last, where is it? Oh, I cut it off here. But he was the last World War II veteran to how did that go, Joel? Do you remember now? The last, you got it there?
I think the oldest maybe.
I think he was the oldest active duty World War II veteran when he retired from West Point. While on assignment in Berlin, Germany in the early 1950s, he met the former Elizabeth Butler Schmertz, known by all as Teddy, and after their courtship, they were married 25th May 1954 in California, the start of 57 rich and exciting years together. Raised 5 children, lived and traveled worldwide, worked and volunteered in a wide and impressive variety of endeavors, making a deep and lasting impression on all whose lives they touched. Following his retirement in 1989, John and Teddy moved to Rhinebeck, New York, where he continued his efforts to be of service to his community for the next 2 decades. John was a gifted linguist and worked for 6 years for the government using his Russian language skills. He was later elected as a village trustee of Rhinebeck in 1994 and again in 1996, and next served as a 5-term mayor from 1997 through 2005. John's efforts and initiatives as mayor led to many significant accomplishments throughout the community, ranging from infrastructure improvements to historical restoration projects. His tenure in Rhinebeck was marked by active volunteer participation with the American Legion Post 429, the old Rhinebeck Aerodrome, where he served on the board of directors, volunteer at Northern Dutchess Hospital, a member of the Rhinebeck Rotary Club, an active parishioner of the Good Shepherd Catholic community, volunteer at Ferncliff Nursing Home, and a member of the Rhinebeck Choral Club. He'll long be remembered for his honorable and selfless service to his country, his extensive military accomplishments, his strong religious convictions, his active participation in the Catholic Church, his dedication to always leading by example, his endless devotion to his family, his tireless quest to help those in need and those less fortunate, his and Teddy's shared love of opera and the Met, and last but certainly not least, by his unwavering support of the Detroit Tigers. John Costa was a soldier, a loving husband and father, a teacher, a leader, and above all else, a gentleman and a man of integrity. There will be a funeral mass for John and Teddy at 10 a.m. on Monday, October 28th, 2013, at the Catholic Chapel at the U.S. Military Academy at West Point, followed by burial at the West Point Cemetery with full military honors. In recognition of Mayor John Costa. Thank you. Joel?
Thank you, sir. And, I try to read the Poughkeepsie Journal and the Daily Freeman and the Observer and the Hudson Valley News, all the newspapers daily. I confess, I honestly, frankly, I did not even know until you told me last night about what had happened. Just, John Costa was an incredibly nice, soft-spoken guy. And I don't know if people are aware of this. Mayor Reardon, you stuck it out to the bitter end. There was some sort of intense conversations you bore witness to, but I don't know when things ended up, 9:30, but you were there from, 5 o'clock until 9 o'clock or so. It's like 4 hours straight, and so thank you for being there.
I'm used to long board meetings.
Yeah. And thank you for being there, and thank you. I try to read the papers cover to cover daily. I did not even know until, you and I together walked over to Chairman Rolison and Carolyn Morris, the clerk, and we made it happen. And so Carolyn walked up to me at the end of the night. She's like, "We need to get something in writing," because I didn't want to rush it. So something in writing, I believe, was prepared today. She made a commitment last night. So I'll make sure that gets here, or a copy, or gets to their family.
Thank you, Joe. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I didn't. I knew him a little bit, but I honestly, I didn't even know. I tried to read the papers daily. I had missed the obituary. Now, I gave you one of these last night, Mayor Reardon, and Brent and Hines, I gave you one of these.
You get one?
Yeah, I got one. Even though I wasn't there, I have one.
Okay, very good.
Is this different from the one that is?
We all have the same one, I think. It's just different colored paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just about the issue. I think we're all aware, and you guys have been working hard on this and doing great work, trying to find a middle ground and make sure that folks with mental illness, their rights are respected, as well as people who've been living here for decades. And there's been obviously a huge change at the 47 West Market Street building. For 3 decades or so, the county ran that mental health programs out of there. And, I fought the good fight against privatization, not attacking the nonprofits there, but there's been a lot of pressure to cut costs. That's like the big goal, unfortunately. Apparently the white vans that used to take clients, participants, consumers, I've worked in the field off and on for many years, they aren't doing that. And so the supervision seems to be one of the biggest issues. I know there's a couple here tonight that's attended a couple of my forums. Mayor Reardon, thank you for joining me for one of those. So, bless you. I've learned that before you can fly, you got to run. Before you can run, you got to walk. And before you walk, you got to crawl. So if I, as a county legislator, hope to get a resolution passed, my idea, and maybe a county resolution is not needed, but I've spoken to the Dutchess County Department of Mental Hygiene Commissioner Kenneth Gladd on this issue. I've asked him to come to attend one or both of, he couldn't. I'm suggesting that he come to Rhinebeck to hear people's concerns directly. And I think that supervision is obviously an issue. And it would be nice if it weren't just me and the folks in this room concerned about the supervision. I think that I think in their heart of hearts, the county executive and the county mental hygiene commissioner, they are concerned. I just want to, they need to come out publicly and hear local folks' concerns and make a commitment to make sure that the nonprofits in that building, who are getting our tax dollars, they survive on county tax dollars, and they should be held accountable. So my resolution just asks, for now anyway, for Kenneth Glatt, the County Mental Hygiene Commissioner, to come to Rhinebeck and openly hear people's concerns and issues. So let's see if that can happen. I've already talked to my colleagues about it. If you agree that that would be a pretty non-controversial baby step in the right direction, email all 25 of us at countylegislators@dutchessny.gov. I've been doing monthly forums for many years. I have another one tomorrow you're all invited to. It's nothing exciting or earth-shattering. It's just if people want to come and raise hell with me about whatever or complain or give me ideas, whatever. It's tomorrow night, Wednesday night, 7:30, just across the way at Rhinebeck Town Hall. I'm not going to run through the whole litany of exciting initiatives I'm working on and ways to save tax dollars and things I've accomplished. It's just a monthly forum. People can come and whatever, complain or give me ideas. Again, tomorrow night, Wednesday night, 7:30 across the street, Rhinebeck Town Hall. I try to bring this issue up every year around July or August, the issue of air quality in Dutchess County. There's well over 30,000 people in Dutchess County who have asthma, bronchitis, or emphysema, according to the American Lung Association in New York State. The incinerator in Poughkeepsie, funded by our tax dollars, is not helping. Unfortunately, the solid waste management plan was passed earlier this year that says even if we recycle up to, right now we're at about 8% or 22%, depending on what figures you trust. The plan was passed saying that even if we raise the recycling rate in the county, let's bring the garbage in from the other counties to burn at the incinerator, which is not helping anybody. The volatile organic chemical emissions, the particulate emissions have increased over the last decade. So I just bring that up because it's easier to wake people up to air quality issues in July or August than it is in the fall. Val Somerville, who's the county budget director, addressed us this past Thursday at the Budget, Finance, and Personnel Committee. She said that we are on pace in Dutchess County to set a record as far as foreclosures. In 2009, there were something like 1,628 foreclosures. This year so far, through the end of July, there have been over 1,000 foreclosures, 1,025. Why do I bring this up? In Richmond, California, they're making waves all across the country. I'm not going to read this whole piece, but just briefly, they are moving forward on a plan floated by other towns and cities to ask big bank lenders to sell underwater mortgage loans at a discount to the city of Richmond if the owner consents, and seize those homes through eminent domain if the banks refuse. The city has committed to refinancing those homes for owners at their current value, not what is owned. There's about 10 million homeowners in this country who are underwater to the tune of $750 billion. And it's a big issue. There are, not just in Poughkeepsie, all over Dutchess County. I'm trying to build support for something like that here. The last thing I'll say is there's a front page article in today's Poughkeepsie Journal, about the jail issue. Bills have to be paid. There's messaging. The messaging that I was doing over the last week is bills have to be paid. That's a different issue from, whether expanding the jail. But there's some weird, wild, and wacky things going on. The front page of today's Poughkeepsie Journal says, the assistant majority leader says that it's already budgeted for the jail pods, the 200 new jail cell pods to be put. Well, I think you were there, Mayor Reardon. At the end of last night, I asked a question because last Thursday, Valerie Somerville, the county budget director, told us all that a vendor has been selected, ProteusOnDemand.com from Georgia. And I was like, wow, a vendor has been selected? We didn't really get a chance to vote on that. And so I asked about that, and Rob Rallison, the chairman last night, said, well, we're looking for this to be part of the 2014 budget. We're going to be deliberating on this in November, December. Basically, I thought that Rallison was telling me and everybody that the pods had not been budgeted for, which is completely different from what's on the front page of today's Poughkeepsie Journal, where Legislator Flesland is saying they've been budgeted for. There's some crazy things going on. I'll just say one more thing. On May 28th, the county executive, at the committee of the whole, all 25 of us in the county legislature, on May 28th, the county executive said, anybody who says this $1.2 million bond is about a new jail is just, dishonest, disingenuous. This is not about a new jail. And then a few weeks ago, he's on Cablevision with Kerry Donovan on Meet the Leaders saying the June 10th vote in the county legislature, that was about a new jail. And I'm just like, what? Aside from all these other ways and things that we could be doing, 50 mentally ill in the county jail, 50 women in the county jail, 20 teenagers, 70 state parole violators, 20 with bail of $2,000 or less. And you add that up, 50 plus 50 plus 20, that's 210 if you add up all those, 20 plus 70 plus 20 plus 50. Aside from all that, and there's 165 being housed out, which is less than a 210. There's some really wild and wacky stuff going on with this jail issue, and the democracy, frankly, is being subverted, and I ask people to wake up. And please watch the meetings. The meetings for the county legislature are online. There's something in Northern Dutchess News about the CWA Verizon issue and the voice link. I just urge people to just do some Googling because there's some allegations made in a Northern Dutchess News article, not by the writer, but by Verizon, that are frankly untrue. And Verizon has been proven by the Attorney General, Eric Schneiderman, to be forcing this voice link on customers already in the Hudson Valley Catskill region. Thank you for your patience. I got to run to the town of Clinton. And thank you, and I owe you again, sir, because I try to read the papers every day. I did not know that Mayor Costa had passed away. And not only did you bring that to my attention, we got the meeting ended, but you stayed for 4 hours. So if everybody doesn't know what a workhorse Jim Reardon is.
It was a learning experience.
Yeah.
Good night, Joel. Thanks. Okay. Folks, you're here about 47 West Market, correct? Okay. Instead of waiting till planning and zoning, well, you probably want to stay for our whole meeting though anyway, don't you? Now, I'll bring you up to speed exactly where we are with this. Based on a meeting that we had with the property owner's attorney, we had requested information. Now, we had requested this information back at the end of May, and there was some lag time because of the property owner being out of town, his property manager being sick, et cetera, et cetera. So it got drug out for more than it should have. So there was a meeting between the village attorney and the property owner's attorney and our zoning enforcement officer. And the property owner's attorney was provided with a list of questions that we needed answers to. So their attorney said, okay, give me until the 26th of July and I'll have these answers to you. To his credit, the 24th of July, we got an answer to these things. And what we have discovered in this letter is that the property owner acknowledges that there are 2 tenants in that building, not 3. Now, we know for a fact Joel had his forum, and it was stated at that forum, Occupation Inc. was there, Lexington Center for Recovery wasn't there, but Hudson Valley Health was not there. At the second forum Joel hosted, Hudson Valley Health was there. Okay, so we know there's 3 organizations operating out of this facility. Property owner either didn't tell us everything, or he's not aware there's a 3rd tenant in that building. So the question is, what is the scope of this operation? So where we are right now is the village attorney has reviewed a letter that the zoning enforcement officer has crafted. I am expecting the village attorney to give the zoning enforcement officer a letter to sign off on it tomorrow, to go ahead and send it to the property owner, and basically what this letter will be a cease and desist. They have the right to appeal. So when they appeal, of course, it goes to the zoning board, and then they go through the process that they should have gone through when we started this whole thing. You know, Joel's flyer here, I think, makes some very valid points, and I don't think anybody in this community, I don't think anybody desires the end result to be that these people that need these mental health services are thrown out and don't receive the treatments that they need. What we face as a challenge as a board is that we need to make sure that the zoning law is applied equally and fairly across the board to anybody and everybody. So our goal here is not to stop that operation from happening there as long as it's within the law. If it is within the law, then what it becomes is a management problem, whereby the people that are running the facility, if there's problems outside the building on the community, those people are not managing these clients properly. Dutchess County Department of Mental Health operated out of that facility for 25 years, and basically there were no problems. That all changed within the last year. So from a village perspective, that's where we're at right now. This letter will be being sent, and what our expectation is once that letter is received is that there will be an appeal filed. That's where we are. Okay, you have any questions? I hope I explained it clearly enough. Okay. All right, you're welcome. Okay, department reports. Brant, wastewater?
For July, wastewater treated 4.12 million gallons. Gallons of sludge, 56,994 gallons. Pounds of sludge processed, 7,410 pounds. Cubic yards of sludge processed, 14.6 Ferric chloride used, 0, and the reason why is we have now switched, we are using the new volute dewatering sludge press that's been put in place. We have a certificate of substantial completion, so that project is done. They were commencing operations on July 10th. It doesn't use that same chemicals, so Jim, I got some copies of the certificate of substantial completion for you to sign that have been approved by our engineer. This is all contractual, so we really don't have to do this at the meeting, but also Conklin Services have completed the installation of the above-ground oil tank, the 1,000-gallon above-ground oil tank, so we're happy about that as well. Let's see what else.
Graham,
So what-
I notice here it says M&O Sanitation hauled 18,000 gallons of sludge. That was the
The
temporary.
the wet sludge removal,
Right,
because this,
okay.
what you're doing is squeezing the
Yeah.
fluid out of the sludge to make it lighter, so
So
you,
that's no longer, M&O's no
That's-
longer going to be there, right?
right,
Okay.
yeah. So what we're gonna do now, we're not going out for chemical bid. We already announced, Elisa did the posting for the sludge removal for a 1-year contract. But we're gonna wait on the chemical bids because we wanna see what kind of chemical usage we're gonna be exposed to with this new treatment process. So we're gonna kind of gauge it, use our old chemical supplier on a month-to-month basis, and then when we have an idea what it's gonna take with the new process, we're gonna go out to bid annually for that as well. So that's basically, we went out to, yeah, that's all I have.
That's it for wastewater?
Yeah. Oh, you have to, I thought you sent that out already. Okay.
Okay, so that, this is cut and dried. It's a proposal to haul the sludge away.
Right.
And the specifications are in here, so I
Normally,
need a motion.
we go out to bid on both chemicals and sludge removal, but because we're not prepared yet to determine what our chemical needs are gonna be, we're just gonna do the sludge bidding, so.
Okay, so I need a motion.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve that resolution to post a notice for sludge removal.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted.
I just have
Okay.
one technical question. This new sludge press uses less energy or less electricity, as Anthony was telling me?
Yeah, it's more efficient
More
and use
efficient.
less labor as well, and it's cleaner, doesn't smell in the building as much as it used to. It's and
And you're not dealing with the usage of the chemicals.
in the less chemical usage. It's going to be cheaper in that regard too.
That's good.
Okay, that's it for wastewater, right? Mr. Sauer, you're up with the water department.
Thank you for giving me so much time, Graham.
You got 5 minutes.
The clock is ticking.
Well, we had net treatment of water in July of 13,570,000 gallons. In preparation to the painting in the low lift station, we had to repair the dehumidifier, and that is done. Work started at the low lift. Work started at a gallery, at the pipe gallery. They cleaned and scraped, and starting Thursday and Friday, they're going to put the first coat of paint on there. So that is working well. Some of the paint is already there. So a few more has to come. As far as the water distribution system is concerned, we replaced a 4-inch valve on South Street and Route 9, and we replaced a 6-inch valve on Route 9 and South Street. And that was all in preparation to disconnect the 2 4-inch lines that came under Route 9 and deactivate them on the east side of Route 9. That was done, and the trunk line, the 4-inch trunk line that goes north and south on Route 9 is now free of these 2 lines that were feeding Astor Home. A targeted review of the consumption data on about 1/3 of the water accounts pointed to a need for some software adjustment. The effect of the adjustment affected a small number of accounts, and we have implemented these. Now, I'm requesting approval of the State Fire Code Enforcement Officer, Don Nichols, whom I contacted to help us in pressure and flow testing of some of the 4-inch lines in the village. And I have sent you a copy of that. Unfortunately, I sent it a little bit late, so you probably didn't have enough time to peruse it. The reason I want to do this, I started out in February and March already, and had discussions with you on the board and privately to get a handle on our distribution systems in terms of what the flows are, what the valves are, and so on. And I had a number of discussions with our village engineer about this, and essentially to learn, for me to learn and for Tom to learn what is involved if you ever want to go for a grant proposal, to how to structure the data to do that. And the village engineer has helped me and Tom and gave me information. It was like a course in fluid dynamics, and I asked her then to put this in writing, including suggesting the format of the data and so on. She has done that, and I think she's going to charge us about $1,000 for this work. So the why is to help figuring out what is or how to improve the distribution system, and Nancy has helped us with what to do and go about it. Now it's how to do it, and this fellow Nichols was actually, I had talked in February, March already to the former fire chief to see if we could get any help in doing some of the flow testing, and he said he had nobody there who could do it. He had no equipment to do it. I again approached Kevin Asher then, and Heath that was here with me, and they suggested a company in Hyde Park, Nichols, and that they are very good because they use them here for some of their equipment. And I called them and I said, well, it's my son really who is the expert in flow testing and so on. That is Stan Nichols. And I contacted him, had a meeting with him and Tom last Thursday, and asked him to give us a proposal to do the following kind of test. We know about where the 4-inch lines are that are tuberculated and been 110, 115 years old. And but we wanted to sort of target where the problem are. So I wanted to take a wide view of the thing, of the system, and then later on. So I want to do that this year, and then to do the detail work next year. And we want to do that during the time when we flush the hydrants. So the proposal that I have sent you has to do with two parts of it. One of them is blocks of 4 hours. Where he is working with us and helping us to take the data, and he brings his own equipment to do that. And our guys, Tom and Justin or Tony, get to learn how to use this and how to do this job. So we think that with 6 blocks, we can probably sort of get an overview of the system.
6 4-hour blocks.
6 4-hour blocks. Get an overview of the system. We may not need 6 of them. One of the blocks has to be where we get what we think is a good pipe. So we get the characteristics of the pressure and so on. So we can then calculate what a bad pipe looks like, and then we're going to take.
So we'll target a good pipe that we know of first.
That we know of first, right? Okay, so it's to get a baseline going. Yeah. So all of this work will be done in the October timeframe, and the cost of it was about. He wanted a little bit more. I discussed it with him later again, but we came down to about a maximum of $5,200, $5,225, I think it is. So after that, next year, we can do the rest of it, the detail work ourselves. And again, the reason I want to do that is to characterize our system here, because we don't know what we have. Once we know what we have and can improve it, it also has a positive effect on our insurance rates.
Okay, just explain to me the scope of what we're going to do this year, and then you say detail work. What's the difference
Okay.
between those two?
This year, as a rough example, we're gonna test the hydrant, say on Crossmoor, okay, and Chestnut, okay, and another one on Route 9, okay, and take sample there. Now this is just, we have to decide exactly what we're going to do. Similar maybe on Livingston, and similar on north and south of Route 9, okay, just to scope out where we think the major problems are, flow and pressure, residual pressure problems are. Once we know where that is, then we're going to go deep, piece by piece along the road on either Chestnut or whatever, and take measurements in these particular areas and get a detailed profile of the performance of the fire hydrants.
Okay.
So now, if we see that we have serious problems, say between two hydrants, let's say between Route 9 and Mulberry or something like that, I found out that we can probably even send the probe down and see how bad a line is, and so on. Okay.
Sometimes with a camera.
A camera, yes, yeah. So,
Okay, so
if
I'm understanding this correctly, the first thing we're going to do is go to a 4-inch line that we know is a fairly new line,
either 4 or 6
test that
inch.
to get a
yes.
baseline.
To get a baseline, right.
all right? And then you're going to go to areas where you know you have 4-inch lines.
Yes,
And say, like you say, it might be on Crossmoor, it might be on South Parsonage or
Right.
whatever, and then you're going to test one hydrant in those areas?
no, two, always two. You have to have,
Okay.
you have to have one running and the other one you measure.
Okay,
Okay.
all right, and that'll be what we'll do this year.
That's what we do this year.
And
okay.
that'll give you an idea
Idea
of how
of
it is
where-
in that area, and then
Yeah.
you'll expand
Then
from
we
that
expand
area
from
next
that
year.
area next year.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
And we want to do that only in October, because we don't want to overly stress the distribution system. But, we have to open it up anyway, so we may as well then take the data there. Okay? So
Hopefully, we won't run into too many valve problems.
yeah, well, that is another thing, okay? Because if you do, we have to fix the valves first, so we can do that then during the year if we run into problems. I still want to do that. We're gonna, talking about valves here, we are going to do one after the fair is over, and that is a critical one, probably in the area of Platt Avenue and Route 9. But we don't want to fiddle on Route 9, right? But we have all the
Yeah.
traffic, and so we're going to do that afterwards. We're going to do your hydrant in your area in the next week or two, up on Violet Street. So, I don't know if I need a motion here to approve
Yeah,
$5,200.
you're going to expend the funds, so you need a motion, you need a board approval.
Okay, yeah, but before we do that, what about the $1,000 that I asked, that we're gonna get a bill for getting Nancy to do some of the work, to lay out.
She gave you a cost estimate of $1,000?
She told me 1,025. The
Yeah.
work is already done.
Make a motion for both of them.
Okay. So I want to make a motion to approve $1,025 for a village engineer to
Erdman
provide.
and Anthony.
I'm sorry?
Say Erdman and Anthony.
Yes, for Erdman Anthony to supply a hydrant flow work plan.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, you've already spent that money, right?
Yeah. No, I haven't spent it yet. The bill is there. I have said to do it.
She did. I thought you said she already did the work.
She did the work, yes, but the money is not spent yet. We
Right,
haven't
well,
gotten
so
the
we
bill
pay
yet.
her, but she's
Yeah,
already
we
done the
have-
work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, okay. My question there is, do we have to get bids for it? Well, the second part of your proposal here, I have questions, I guess, more on.
But what is the first part? What is the first
So-
one?
Anything else on this 1,025 with Erdman and Anthony? We got a motion?
I just have
We got
a
a
problem
second.
you spending the money before, us
Okay,
even,
so
even,
that's something we can address afterwards.
okay.
Yeah.
All right? Brant, any questions?
What did she do? This is the PE here, then what did she have to do in addition to
What
this?
she did is she essentially gave us a work plan and educate us what to do to flow and pressure test the.
So she thought this was a really good practice, like, this is a real good practice then, this really
I don't know what you're showing
troubleshoots.
me there.
This is the bid from.
Oh, yeah,
This
yes.
is the, I mean, this is a practice that really ferrets out these
Yes.
problems with
Right,
water lines.
right.
Okay, and she discovered that.
She did, well, she discussed it with us and she told us how to go about doing it.
Okay,
And the reason we want to do it is to improve our infrastructure, so that was like seed money. And I had talked to the board about this,
Right.
starting in March, already, and I think 3 or 4 times about what I was going to do.
All right, let's,
Okay.
is there any more questions about the
Erdman and
the
Anthony,
Erdman and Anthony
No.
work for $1,025?
no.
Okay. All those in favor of approving it?
Aye.
Aye.
It's already.
Opposed? So voted. Okay. So what we need to do going forward is anytime we expend village funds, the board needs to approve it before the work gets done.
Yeah.
Because once the work's done, we have to pay the bill, all right? You know, and
Right.
it could be that the board didn't want to spend the money, so.
Now, my question is, when we, for instance, I asked our attorney something.
Mhm.
Do I have to go to the board first and ask, can I ask the attorney?
You should run it by me,
Okay.
because I might be able to answer your question. If I can't,
Right.
then I would say go to the village attorney.
And, you know, we had to buy bolts to fix some of the pipes down there. It's over
Well, we have,
$1,000 bucks.
you know, we have a,
So what, how much,
It's
I guess the question is,
$500.
how much
we have a
leeway do I
procurement
have?
policy, and that's what we should be
You're supposed
following.
to get written bids, even in email bids, whatever,
Yeah.
but you have leeway with $500 and under stuff.
Yeah.
And again, we
So-
come back to this village engineer thing. This engineer was appointed to be our village engineer, and we use them for these types of
Right.
projects. But we still need to approve
Yeah.
the expenditure of money.
Yeah, now, the way it evolves is I had a lot of questions for her, and, you know, telephone time and emails and so on, and the thing sort of evolves, you know,
And that's the communication
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
When you're putting all of these ideas, you get these ideas in your head, and you're putting this plan together that you want to discuss with the village engineer, then what you should do is be sending this group emails and saying, this is what my plan is, this is why I want to do it, and bounce it off everybody.
Yeah, and I had actually done this, if you look at the minutes of the meeting, which I did.
Exactly.
I had, you know.
But we shouldn't tell the engineer to do the work till the board approves the expenditure.
Okay,
Okay?
so now comes the second part.
Okay. Go ahead.
I want to make a motion to approve Daniel Nichols to do flow testing and pressure testing for the village at the cost of about $5,225.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion.
Okay, my first question is, should we get bids for this? More than just one bid we have. When I cut down trees, I gotta get bids. Even though it's the same people we use all the time, I still have to get bids.
Well, the reason I didn't get bids is, first of all, because I don't know who does this kind of stuff. And now I can go to our village engineer and ask her to help with the bid.
Well, again, what we should do here, we should follow the procurement policy, which says what the dollar thresholds are and what we're supposed to do. We don't necessarily have to advertise for bids. We can get cost estimates from contractors, which we do. You get tree removal estimates.
Yeah.
All right, but that's what we should be doing, is follow the procurement policy that says that after, what's the trigger for 3 written estimates? What's the dollar amount?
Oh, it's $500.
Okay, so that's what we should be doing.
But-
All right, so in this case, what you could say is, say to Nancy or Tom or whoever, the fire company, I'm sure they know people that do flow testing, say to them, who's out there that I can call?
Yeah. Well, I did ask the
Okay.
fire company, they said, that's the only guy we know.
So you-
See, that's the thing. Now, there's an exception for specialty service contracts.
Yeah.
If you feel like you'd be completely wasting your time trying to get 2 other bids, and this is the only person who really does this thing, then
Okay,
I would be
well,
willing to vote for it tonight if Heinz feels like he wouldn't be able to find 2 more
Sure,
vendors.
and that's the thing. I mean, you know, the first thing we have to say to ourselves is we have a policy, and then we have to make every effort to abide by that policy. If it's, like Brand says, specialty services, contract work, there could only be one person out there that does that particular thing,
Yeah.
then your hands are tied.
Well, I can try to find out it anymore. I don't know who to call, but I'll call our engineer certainly, and call the AMA, I guess it's the American Water Association.
Yeah, I mean, it's
But,
our responsibility to follow the proper procedures and try to be as cost-effective as we possibly can.
We flush in what, October?
October.
Okay,
yeah.
so we have a little bit.
We have a little bit of time.
And if need be, we call a special meeting.
Special meeting, okay.
We love having meetings. Look at all the minutes we have to approve tonight.
Okay.
I just have a few more questions. So are there any major problems now with water pressure anywhere?
We don't know, really.
Well, let me tell you what I find out. We dug up on Route 9, across from Esterholm. There is a 4-inch water line on the east side of Route 9. And when we dug it up and cut it off to make the separation from Esterholm, the piece of pipe that it took out.
Yeah, I think it's downstairs in the
No,
wall.
that's not one. That's a good one.
Oh.
That one was worse. There was like 2 inches of a 4-inch pipe left. Okay. There is anecdotal evidence of people who have very little water pressure in the second floor over here, and these are the kind of things someone found. Every time we dig up a pipe and cut a piece out, we see huge amount of tuberculation inside the pipe. And
Heinz, explain to me,
Yes.
simply because I don't understand the hydraulics of it. If somebody on the second floor is having a problem, what does the 4-inch line on the street have to do with that? Because it would seem to me that if the person on the first floor has adequate flow, why isn't the second floor getting it? A
Well, they
restriction
may
would
have.
be in there somewhere.
No, the problem is because there's other people on the street may using it, so that the flow gets disrupted or
Goes to
gets
the
used up.
easiest place first.
And then there's not enough backflow coming up, and then it has trouble getting up to a higher elevation. So
All right,
that's
I got you.
essentially yeah.
The demand is too high for the size of the pipe
For the
that's out
size
there.
of the pipe,
Okay,
Okay.
all right.
So if we go through this whole process of finding out whether it's problems, I thought we talked in the past about trying to do all different things at once. Like say,
Yeah.
what if you find a problem on a road that we're just paving?
Yeah.
Hopefully
Yeah.
South Parsonage Street
Yeah.
is okay.
And we talked about drainage and we talked about streets.
Right.
So
Do everything all at
What have
once.
you done about drainage and what you have done about streets? Okay, I decided, I don't want to wait. I want to get going with it.
You're doing the right thing. What we have to do is, if we find significant problems here, then we have to address it going forward.
Well, it's a fire safety issue, so
Of course.
Well, that's my question. Do we have any,
We can't wait to
Do we have any
repair a
problems?
street because we're waiting to get grant money to do a water main repair, And the same token, we can't stay or hold off significant projects that need to be accomplished with the hope we're gonna get money from the fruit tree in the backyard, Yeah, it's noble to say, all right, we're gonna do the drainage here, we're gonna do the electric lines here, we're gonna pave the street, we're gonna fix the storm drains, all of that kind of stuff. But unless you have the money in hand, you can't do all that.
And all I'm doing is getting ready in case something breaks loose.
right?
So to characterize it, what we're doing.
One more question.
Sure.
Before I forget, if you go on to something else. You said detail work will be done next year. Is that going to cost money also?
This detailed work will, by and large, be done by us.
Okay.
Okay? One of the reasons a lot of this work I can't do now is because, number one, I'm at least one person down. Okay? I don't have the right kind of skill set to do the work, and I hope that by hiring somebody who is a top-notch guy, okay, he can do this. So that
Or a
it's-
woman.
I'm sorry?
it could be a woman.
Guy or woman?
A top-notch person, I meant. I'm sorry. Okay. Yes, absolutely. I'm sorry. I apologize. So I think, and it's also a method of teaching us, because none of our people has that kind of expertise. They want to do it. Tom is really eager to do it, to increase his skill. But If we do it without knowing what we're doing, we spend a lot of time on it, and we don't have a lot of time. We are very, very tightly, with all the issues that we're dealing with, we're very tightly.
It's an educational experience for all of us. We're all learning from it.
Okay? Anything else?
That's
Are we-
it. Those are my questions.
Other items here. We haven't found any but a qualified water operator. So what we're planning to do is we want to grow our own. And
Plant a garden.
Yeah.
and I request that we put a job opening, internally only, for people, post a job opening internally, okay?
Make a motion.
I want to make a motion to open a job
Post a
opening,
job.
post a job opening for a
Internally.
internal job opening for a worker in the water plant.
Second?
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So voted.
I want to retain Rich Deneau for another 3 months. His 3 months are over, I believe, mid-September or early September. And-
Maximum of 3 months.
Yeah, for a maximum of 3 months, so I have to make a motion for that. Okay. I want to retain Rich Deneau for an additional 3 months as a temporary.
Maximum of 3 months.
Maximum of 3 months. Oh, this
Because
is,
if we hire somebody, then.
then that's right.
We're not
Yeah.
keeping him for
For
90 days.
days,
It's for a
right.
maximum of 90 days.
For a maximum of 3 months.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion?
Yeah, how long has he worked already?
I think two
He's
and
coming
a
up,
half months.
he's coming up to the end of 90 days.
So then
We can extend it,
we can extend it without,
yes. We just have to go through county personnel and let them know that it's an extension because of a vacancy. That's all. We did the same thing down at the wastewater.
As a laborer, but yeah, there's a certain amount, is he certified still?
He's certified, yeah.
Rich is certified.
Certified, yeah.
Right, so as a laborer, you can keep extending it for as long as you need to. With somebody who's actually certified, I have to find out. So the wastewater, like Ed, Ed was.
There's the
Ed
ability
was
to
part-time.
extend because of extenuating circumstance. We just
Right.
have to clear it through county personnel.
okay.
Okay?
All right, so we haven't voted yet. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So voted. Go ahead.
I found that, we found an additional meter in Astor Home, and they had used 193,000 gallons already, and we don't know how that happened.
Do we know when it was put in?
We think about a year ago, but we're not,
So
about the time.
It was part of the expansion?
Part of the expansion, and I plan to bill
Do
him
we
for the
know who
full.
installed it?
I heard it was Kirchhoff, but I am not sure.
Okay,
I haven't got
so
any- we
you are
had
going
asked-
to contact Astor and ask for an explanation?
Yeah, if he talks to me.
What's that?
If he talks to me. Okay,
We need an answer,
yeah.
you know? Nobody's allowed to tie into our system
But anyway.
without authorization and install meters.
Can you send this to me, please?
So they're gonna be billed back for 193,000?
No, I plan to charge him for the 100, the whole bit, because it's mirror, apparently the meter started pretty close to zero.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, next item is I got Pat gave me well, no, let me go that differently. We had an issue a little while ago, when I went through the software analysis and consumption analysis. I wanted to get a whole bunch of data really fast, and I was told we can't do it. We can't personalize it. We have to take page by page by page, and we can only print it out. We cannot transfer the information anywhere. What was already in the work at the time is an upgrade to the utility billing system modification from SCI, which is the Software Consulting Association that's doing our business here. And apparently the town of Shodak had asked them to do that as well, and they thought we could use it here also. So this is costs about $400 for the software upgrade, and that is affecting Brand a little bit and me a lot. And the cost of that is, as I said, is $400. It gives us the capability of actually individualize the data that we want to pull down from the system. So I would like to make a motion to approve this, and I guess I have, or Jim, or somebody has to sign this. There is a condition list on there, but I looked at the terms and conditions, it's pretty straightforward, but I was hoping Rich was here, but I can send him this. And
Lisa can put a copy of it in his folder, scan it
okay.
and send it to him.
Yeah. So it needs to be authorized. I think I can probably do that. I don't know, unless you want to do it. So I want to make a motion to ask SEA to add this module to our billing.
Does everybody
and
understand what this
system.
is for? He's going to be able to pull data out of the system onto, right now, the way the reports come out, it's pages and pages and pages.
Yeah,
He's
okay.
going to be able to segregate data that he needs,
And
get
put it-
smaller reports.
Yeah, and put it also on a
a
spreadsheet.
spreadsheet.
On a spreadsheet.
Okay.
So,
Second.
Motion.
Second.
Yep.
Oh,
No, I already made a motion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
I'm
got the
seconding
second?
it.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
aye.
Aye. Opposed? So voted.
I want to talk about updating the village code. I briefly talked to you about it, Jim, and I'm talking here strictly about the water part of it. There's a number of issues. One of them came up with the audit of how we're billing. Our code says 15 days. We're using 25 days, and the audit says you do either one or the other. You know, they didn't care which one it is. We charge for hydrant fees. It's not in our code book. Okay, we charge new owners $25 for a connection. It's not in our code book. Rich had a couple of issues, as I remember. One of them had to do with out of district code for water contract and water contracts. They have two issues on here. One of the newer things that is creeping up with our new water meters that we have, we can actually test the flow of during nights, you know, very low flow, and it remembers the data, and we can print out, you know, a distribution for 24 hours and many days, you know, how much water is used at what hours and so on. And you can use this for probably tell if the
What does this have to do with the code issue?
that has to do with the code issue, because the next thing I'm going to tell you, this is going to cost money to do. And if we want...
I know it's going to cost money to
do.
amend the code, but
No, it costs money to do the test, and if we do the code, you know, if we redo the code, I think we need to put something like that in there, where we tell the people that we can...
when you're talking about a multitude of different issues here when it
Yeah.
pertains to the code. So I think what you need to do is define and get on paper for us the proposals
Yeah,
you suggested
that was
make
a-
for amendments.
Right, that was just one item.
Yeah, and that's
Okay,
kind of
which
like
is new.
committee behind the work,
Yeah.
scenes work, and then once we have all of these things in front of us, we could then say, okay, here, we agree we're going to do this, and send it to the public hearing
Well,
process.
okay.
But until we have all of that in
No,
front of us.
I understand. Now, that particular issue I'm talking to you about has actually some immediate potential, because I had actually stopped Pat to send out these notices, or telling people that we can do this, because they come back and they want to have a testing done of their system. It takes us an hour or so for two people, 1 hour each, you know, to go there and look at the meter, take the readings, make a chart, and then send it back to them. And I said, we cannot do that without getting compensated for it. So that's why I'm bringing that in
Again,
into this
you need to
into
come
this
up with
discussion.
kind of like the business plan
Yeah.
side for the board to be able to take a look at.
Okay.
Okay?
So that is about it. Now, I think what we ought to have some kind of an idea how we want to deal with this code. You're saying that I should come up with the details first?
Bring us the business plan, and then we can we'll look at it, and we can talk about the issues that you think need attention, and then we can move forward from that point.
Okay.
Until we have the information in front of us, we can't say, all right, we're going to have a public hearing to amend the code.
No, I'm not asking that. All I'm saying is, you know, because I'm sure there's other issues if you...
We got a
My
ton of
question was,
issues.
how do you...
Planning and zoning, You know, there's all kinds of
And
amendments.
you
that
want
need
to
be-
handle them separately, I take it?
You know, right now, the immediate thing looming on the horizon is the events code and fairgrounds rezoning, and we're not gonna hold that up
No, no.
to try and tie all of these
Right.
other things in. What we need to do is develop the plan you want, we need to develop the plan for the zoning code. We're gonna go ahead with the fairgrounds and the events code, get that out of the way, and then try and lump everything together in a public hearing for the rest of this stuff. If we determine we wanna do
You
one
want to do
public
that?
hearing.
Right,
You know, it depends upon how many amendments we're doing. We could be here for weeks. You know?
That's the end of the water. I just wonder if I need about 15 seconds, 15 seconds to talk about power consumption, unless you want to wait till the end of it.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, because the lights are going out. They just flickered.
Well, I know what you're looking for.
Power.
Village Hall solar data, we consumed about 6,000 kilowatt hours in the month of July. We generated 3,200 kilowatt hours. We saved about $519 in July on power based on 16 cents a kilowatt hour.
That was with the air conditioners running full
Really
blast all
full
the time.
blast, yeah, and the sun's being up full blast too.
Huh?
Yeah, so anyway, $500 saved, yeah. $519. I called Central Hudson about changing the lights, and they haven't started yet, but changing the...
Oh, street lights.
The lamp?
Streetlights,
Yeah.
streetlights, right. And he promised that they would get started this month, so that's it.
They have completed their work down here by the CVS with the pole and the transformers.
And now there's a wonderful space for a pig belly.
Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking the same
That's it for
thing.
water?
Thank you, Heinz. Thanks for doing this comparison here.
Okay, fire department. Report for the month of July. EMS calls in the town, 21, in the village, 24, for a total of 45. Fire calls, 17 in the town, 9 in the village, for a total of 26. Motor vehicle accidents, 5 in the town, 0 in the village, for a total of 5. For the month of July, total town calls numbered 43, village 33, for a total of 76 calls. Year-to-date, in the town, 149 EMS calls, 83 fire calls, motor vehicle accidents 24, for a total of 257 calls in the town. In the village, EMS calls 157, fire calls 55, motor vehicle accidents 6, for a total of 218. So year-to-date, EMS, both municipalities, 226, fire 139, motor vehicle accidents 30, grand total 485 responses so far this year through the month of July. We have received from Ken Scattergood, who is Vice President of Fire Department, Inc., paperwork on 2 new members. William Denick II. They want to add him as a new member of the fire company. And we also have Xavier Christian Mulhern as a new member of the fire company. So I'll make a motion to approve these 2 gentlemen as new members. Is there a second? Second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So voted. Just a little thought process on my part. I'll talk to Heath about it when he returns. The town's going to be beginning their budget negotiations beginning next month. And I think it would behoove us to look at the fire contract. It has not been renegotiated since 2011. So I'm going to sit down with Heath, and I talked to Henry Campbell today, and, we'll get Kevin Asher and the other officers involved in this, and we'll talk over the fire contract and decide if we need to make any adjustment, and then be prepared to go to the town board so that they can include it in their budget process. All right? Street Department, go ahead, Howie.
Okay, road repairs were done on Montgomery Street and Astor Drive, where there were potholes. The areas were milled. Form fixed base was done and resurfaced with blacktop. The Beach Street intersection and Route 308 was milled out and also replaced with blacktop. Catch basin repair was done, has been done. 7 basins have been replaced. A catch basin on North Park and South
No.
Parsonage.
7 basins have been repaired.
Oh, it says
2
replaced.
tops, no, right here. We have repaired 7 basins, replaced 2 tops.
Okay. Repaired 7 basins, replaced 2 tops. You got it.
No comma.
Yeah. Sometimes I have to ad lib here. Okay, the catch basin that Heinz was worried about there on North Park and South Parsonage was cleaned, and the pipe was flushed.
Nice job.
Thank you. And there was stone added at the end of the pipe that exits into the mini park to help disperse the water.
I like that too. I thought that looked good.
Yeah, it looks good. There's a little fence there. They have been doing road repair, cutting. They've been doing road repair, cutting out the bad spots and replacing the blacktop. Tree trimming at the intersections and sidewalks have been done, which were needed. Repairs have been done on the backhoe lift cylinders. They leak and then they fix them, and then the other one leaked and they fixed that. And these cylinder replacements have been done in-house. The leaf vac, Mike's been getting that ready for the upcoming leaf season. It needs a new impeller. Housing liners also have been ordered. And they will be doing tree work this week. I just wanted to make a note, I don't know if you were going to say something later on, that the garbage and recycling ends this month. And I don't know if legally I can say who to go to, or
What I would suggest is that everybody understand that the cardboard will be picked up on the 20th for the last time. Paper's already all done.
right.
Trash and recycling, the 27th of August is the last day that the Village of Rhinebeck will be picking up. From that point on, people have options. They can either contract with a private hauler, or they can go to Town Hall and they can discuss with Town Hall the hours and the use of the transfer station. Basically, that's it.
And the other note I have written down is the major South Parsonage Street repaving was started yesterday, and it is expected to last no more than 2 weeks. I know Jim's been on top of this, working with the engineer.
Yeah, well, we're going to be well underneath that time frame. We did that just in case there was a stretch of really bad weather. It doesn't appear that's going to be a reality. The weather's going to be pretty good. They pretty much have the physical milling preparation part of it finished. Because of the rain today, they weren't able to crack seal and shim, so that'll happen tomorrow, and then they should be able to pave it on Thursday and be all done.
That's it?
That's our
Wow.
timeline.
What about stripes?
Stripes we'll do afterwards.
I have one question. We had a request to use the fire hydrant for giving water, and I said, there's a creek right next to it. I said, take it out of there. I don't want to use potable water to flush down the street if you don't have to. They have a big tanker there. It must have been a 1,000-gallon tanker or something like that. And they can go right on the bridge and take the water out from the stream.
They have the ability to pump it from
Yeah,
the stream in.
yeah.
Okay. As long as they got water.
I'd just like to make
Is
note.
that anybody's car beeping out there?
No. Carla Russo from Hudson was the lowest bidder on this job. I don't know if we wanted to talk about skid steers or...
It's up to you. You and Mike needed to reach a decision if you're ready.
Well, I want to talk to Mike more about this.
Okay?
We plan on having a special meeting sometime
We can have
between...
a special meeting if we have.
Okay, okay.
I do have one question though. Maybe.
Go ahead.
Did anyone look into the CHIPS eligibility part of it?
Yes, it is CHIPS eligible.
It is, okay.
I spoke with Doreen Holsapple at CHIPS, and she did the research for me, and it is CHIPS reimbursable. The idea is, though, that if you want to buy the attachments, you buy it all in one package, because if you go to buy the attachments later, they will not be CHIPS reimbursable.
And that's 100%, I take it.
100%, yes, yes. Go ahead.
Did you see this? This here?
Yeah,
The,
we get them every quarter.
yeah,
Every
I know,
quarter, they
but
send a
it-
notice out.
Okay, but it says no later than the 14th of August.
Right,
which
so
is-
we'll get another one, and then we submit for
Oh,
reimbursement
so
then.
it comes every month? Or every
Every
quarter?
quarter.
Every quarter,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, just a little bit more information for you guys on the skid steer. I had Chrissy do some research for me, and she gave me some numbers. Because I was interested in how much we spend on stump grinding and milling, et cetera. Unfortunately, the paving contractor, when they do the work, doesn't break the milling out separately, so I got no way of separating it out. If we have Artie Smith's most recent bill for the milling, which we probably don't have yet, all right, we could get a pretty good idea, because he did this milling recently for this stuff Mike had done. He didn't do any paving for us, he just did milling. But when he's done, like when he did the milling down at Sunset Road, and we did that project, it was all included in his price, all right? Beaver stump grinding in 2010, we spent $5,143. In 2011, $2,653. In 2012, $2,620.50. And in 2013, $0. Dave's Tree Service has ground some stumps, but again, it wasn't itemized, it was just included in the price. So if you take Beaver stump grinding, you got $5,200 and $5,100. Over the last 2010, 11, and 12, we spent $10,200 on stump grinding. So if you were to predict that you were going to follow those numbers historically in the future, you would look at, on this machine with all the attachments, $47,000. You're looking at a 4.5 to 5 year payback on the machine.
Just on the stump grinding.
But
That's not the stump grinding.
just on the stump grinding part of it, all right? Pavement milling, of course, is going to be more, shorten the payback. But you also have to factor in wear and tear on the machine, service and things like that.
So who would do the service?
We would.
We would.
I mean, it was a major breakage, might have to have the dealer do it, but changing the oil and all of those types of things, we can do that
We got a good
ourselves.
place to store it?
Yeah, the garage.
It's a highway rush.
Well, we have no more truck, right, for the garbage truck, so we can put it in there.
Yeah.
What about, I saw an email.
Let me finish, okay? All right, so I had reached out, you guys saw the email that I
Yeah.
sent to Kathy Kinsella, all right, to see if there's any interest in a shared service agreement with the town, shared purchase agreement, I should say. And Kathy went through her numbers, and over the last 3 years, she's only spent a little over $2,000 renting a similar type machine. So she can't justify the cost for them. So she had suggested that the town parks department and the cemetery look at how much they spend, and then maybe those three entities, along with us, could justify it. Bruce Washburn responded yesterday and said, no, there's no justification on the town's part. So we don't have the opportunity for a shared purchase agreement here. We would be doing this all on our own. So that's what I've got for you.
Yeah, now, the question is, we have a lot of issues with streets here, right? With paving and with drainage and so on. Why do we want to use the money for cats if we can, cats and bobcat, if we can rent one? And then use the money for street repairs?
Because when we look at it and we say we spent $10,000 in 3 years, this is the question we need to answer as a group. We spent $10,000 in 3 years. Are we better off taking CHIPS money, which is reimbursable, okay, buying this piece of equipment, so over the period of years, we can save some money, okay? If we don't think we can justify that, we don't buy the skid steer. That's what our decision is here. I mean,
It's also
I've
gonna-
given you $10,000 worth of reasons over the last 3 years just for stump grinding, all right?
Well, what are some other,
It's going to help us.
Other option is to continue to pay
No,
some
what are some
contractor to come in.
other ways that we can save?
Well, the other uses are for the snow removal down in the downtown area. You can use it on the sidewalks, so you don't have to use the backhoes and slam it on the sidewalks and potentially breaking the sidewalks. You can use a skid steer, push the snow out. You can't do the whole thing of one skid steer, but we have a couple other contractors that also have skid steers that we've been using. The planer is for milling the road,
Well, we have to do blacktop patching.
which that's a big number, I know.
Like I said, we haven't got A.C. Smith's bill. I don't know how much what his bill was for this most recent round. You know, we don't have the bill yet.
sidewalks? You can have them,
Well, the other thing is to fix the sidewalks, where the tree roots are.
How would you use
Grind,
it?
you can grind the tree roots that are lifting the sidewalks.
If you choose to.
So
I thought we
we
weren't gonna talk about that publicly. No, I'm kidding.
So we have essentially, we essentially have,
Sidewalk, tree.
we have essentially a different use for it than the town would have.
Definitely.
Much
Oh,
different.
yeah,
We do a lot more,
More.
we do
Stump
different
grinding
things than the
and
town
all that
does,
stuff,
you know?
yeah.
They don't do a lot of stump grinding, simply because they're dealing with rural roads most of the time.
And
you
we're
know?
going to be doing a lot of stump grinding.
Definitely.
Yeah,
We
now
have
that
a ton out there now that need to be done.
Yeah, we let a lot of it go in the last year and a half, because we were anticipating on buying this. And now that there's gonna be no garbage pickup.
Well, no, typically what we do is we wait a while until there's a bunch of them, and then have this guy come in for a whole day. We don't call him each individual stump.
Right.
Get a deal.
Well, typically they charge you by the inch. That's how they charge you.
Yeah, well,
You know,
yeah.
if it's a 12-inch stump or a 24-inch stump, that's how they charge you. And the bigger the stump is, the more fuel they use, so the price goes up. You want to talk to Michael more?
Yeah, because he wanted to make sure it was powerful enough for the planer.
So he doesn't think I spec'd it out properly, is that what you're saying?
I don't
Because I
know.
talked to the experts, I talked to the people that sell the machines, and I said, this is what we are looking to do. This was their recommendation. If you buy a bigger machine, it's gonna cost more money, and we don't need a bigger machine. And the bigger the machine is, the less maneuverable it is, especially when you wanna do slow removal. I went and looked at Red Hooks, they got an 88 horsepower one, it's a monster.
This is a 66,
66.
yeah.
How much does it weigh?
Turbo diesel.
How much does it weigh?
Does it say how much? Is it like 3 tons or something?
No, it doesn't say.
Probably doesn't have the weight specifications on here. No, it doesn't.
That's the other thing, we'd have to buy a trailer.
We could buy a trailer cheap. All right, talk to Mike some
I'll
more.
talk to Michael, we might have a special meeting,
Okay.
okay?
Okay. You got anything else?
No, that's it.
All right, the new big belly was delivered yesterday. So we need to get that installed. As soon as Mike gets done probably with his paving project, we can get the big belly installed next week.
Okay.
All right?
We
By
got
the post
the-
office.
While we're on the topic, we got that letter from the insurance company, seeing if we wanted to add those as additional insured, which I assume we do, right?
She's actually it's gonna be an additional cost. I sent her the amounts that we paid for each one, so she's gonna get back to me on that.
We're not
What
ready
the
to do
cost is,
anything on it
whether
yet.
it's-
I mean,
Okay.
the ones that aren't adjacent to the streets, I don't know if we want insurance on them.
Yeah, they're on.
But like this one we're gonna put down here where the handicap crosswalk is. People violate the handicap crosswalk areas all the time, so do we wanna have insurance on that in case anybody runs into it? Because it's gonna be adjacent to the street. What do you guys think? Let's find out what the cost is. Might be relatively cheap.
It should be real nominal, I mean,
Yeah, for one.
well, nominal.
Well, no, even if we have 4 or 5, it might be cheap. you know? I don't know, I've never tried to insure a trash container.
Yeah, I mean, what could, what's the risk?
It's based on the value, right? $5,000, $6,000?
Yeah.
So, let's wait till we hear from the insurance company,
Okay.
all right? Okay, planning and zoning, that's it for streets, right, Howie?
Well, now that you mention it, did we plan on putting one over here by the, or are we gonna talk about that later in other business?
I left that ball in your court, you gotta figure out how you wanna fund this. I told you I'll write that letter to the Frost Foundation, but if you wanna purchase additional big bellies, you have to figure out how you're gonna fund it.
Okay, but I mean, did you decide on this location over here by the
We can
pedestrian?
put one there, if you
Okay.
wanna put one there.
And also,
I'll come up with the locations. If you can come up with the money, I'll come up with the locations. How's that
Okay,
sound?
okay.
it wipes out 2 cans. It wipes out 2 cans that you have to clear.
Right.
One at the.
Right in front of the big, right in front of the,
No, more than that.
Well, at least 2. They're right next to each other.
Yeah, but we empty those things 4 times a week.
Yeah,
in front of the coffee shop.
yeah. For the
Same
coffee
as-
shop and one where the new jewelry store is.
We empty them Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we can empty these big bellies once a week.
Okay, I'll be on top of that.
All right, find the money.
Find the money. Show me the money.
Show me the money,
Show me the
Howie.
money.
Okay?
Okay.
All right. That's it? Mm-hmm. Planning and zoning. We already covered 47 West Market Street, just to bring you up to speed on the sign issues. It seems that the press that was out there has helped. Sign police.
Rhinebeck's finest.
Sign police.
Sign police.
It has helped. The people, some of the people that were taking the liberty of putting signs out illegally that weren't part of their site plan have removed them. We still have a couple of problems. There are going to be some letters sent to these individuals notifying them of appearance tickets in court.
Bunch of happy campers.
Which is louder, the fire truck or the air conditioner? Okay, so that's where we are with the signs.
I think Bob's looking for some direction, though. He recommended that we prepare the appearance ticket and information and then show the, kind of approach the people and say, this is what we're gonna be serving you, you know, right before he sends it out. You see that in his report?
Yeah, I saw that
I
someplace.
I got his report while I was at work today, so I haven't read what
Okay.
he's got there in the letter. What is he saying?
To show them we're serious, take the appearance ticket and information to the violator and show him or her that we intend to serve this upon them and give them one last chance to comply. He thought that would be a good approach. And then we would send it if they did not comply.
I don't agree with that. We've sent them cease and desist letters.
Yeah.
And that's what the code requires us to do.
He says we would insist that to avoid prosecution, they give us a letter swearing they will not persist in violating the sign permit. I agree with you, that's fine.
I mean,
Let's
We've
just
been
do
doing
that.
that all along.
the one person in particular we've
Yeah.
sent multiple letters to, you know, so. Okay, that's it on that one. Police and court, anybody have any questions on incident reports, anything like that? No?
No.
Of course, Fair Week is next week, so there will be an increased presence of village police. We will be running some overnight lines during Fair Week. And I'm going to talk with Pete tomorrow about the speed trailer and making sure that's out all week next week. We're actually starting this weekend, and move that around in key locations during Fair Week to keep the traffic informed about the speed limits. We still have some outstanding issues with the doors next door at the police station, so we had a meeting yesterday, and there's going to be a letter sent to the contractor to resolve those issues. And we still have a little bit of an issue with the plumbing system as far as the drainage from the bathrooms, and the contractor's supposed to be coming back to fix that one. Other than that, everything seems to be okay.
Do we still have money in escrow for that?
Yes.
The generator's up and running. I've
Yep.
been gone a long time, so.
Yep, generator's been fine. Dog report, we got one, Lisa? I didn't see one.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Good things.
This is the dog report from June.
We
I
didn't
picked
get
up,
it until after the meeting in July.
what's that?
We didn't get it until after our meeting in July.
Right. Yeah. Picked up a dog at the Rhinebeck Animal Hospital. Someone found it and took it there. Andres Moss, I think it says, claimed the dog. And she was charged $30 in order to get the dog back. There's been a lot of complaints about Mr. Arnold on Mulberry Street. People are saying the dog is out in all kinds of weather. I have been checking at random, but have never seen any danger signs. Lost dogs have been another thing this month. Committee reports. Howie, what do you got on trees?
Trees, everybody got the minutes that I sent to you? Any questions? One thing I'd like to say, we have a new tree commission member, Brian Del Pizzo. We welcome Brian to our tree commission. He has a 3-year term. He replaced Cynthia Fennell, and I'd like to thank Cynthia Fennell for her time that she put on a tree commission.
Okay, the only thing I want to talk about, Howie, is this issue with this tree at Arnett Road.
Right.
All right, all the tree commission does is make a determination whether a tree has to come down or not. That's their only responsibility. Okay? It's up to the village board to decide whether we take the action to remove the tree. All right? I know
Right.
they don't understand this.
Well,
All right, it's up to us to make the determination whether the village is going to expend village funds and then try and recoup it from the property owner. Okay? I understand their concern, but they don't have any decision-making.
I know, but they just wanted it in writing what their concern was. They know that they don't have anything to do with deciding on the
Okay.
tree coming down.
You know, all I asked them to do is the tree dead, should have come down, okay? So my question now is, has this property owner at 81 Center Street been sent that letter?
81 Arnett.
Arnett?
Arnett,
Road.
yeah.
Was that letter ever sent
To the owner itself? No.
to the owner? All right, we
Yeah,
need to make sure that
waiting
gets
for-
done,
Okay.
okay?
It was just the courtesy letter the one time that I sent, just saying that her neighbors were, because then they've been trying to get a hold of her and they've
Right.
gotten no response.
We need to send some type of a,
Okay.
certified return receipt letter informing the property owner that they have, and I'll talk about, they have X amount of days. We'll have to determine what the days are going to be to have the tree removed, or the village will remove it, and bill them, and if it's, the bill is not paid, it will be re-levied on their taxes.
Okay.
Okay, so we have some requests here. Do you want me to read each one? And
Go ahead.
okay, the Tree Commission recommends to the village board that Ellen Moore be granted the permit to have a tree pruned on the side of her house. It's going to be done by a private contractor. Susan O'Halloran at 3 Carolina Drive, there's a tree there that's been damaged, and we're going to try to save it. We're going to have Meg Crawford of the Tree Commission do some pruning on it.
Okay, now, my question is, it says have Meg Crawford representing the village. Why does it say representing the village?
Maybe she wrote the wrong thing.
Because if Meg's doing this, she's doing it on her own.
Right.
So that needs to be struck.
Okay.
And if there's an issue, the issue is between Meg Crawford and the person, not us.
Right, so,
Meg
What's wrong
Crawford
with
is
that
not
tree?
representing the village.
right, I understand that.
Make sure the tree commission understands that.
Okay. Do you know which tree I'm talking about? It's in your neighborhood there.
It's one right by your brother's.
Yeah, but it's on the other person on the corner there. One branch was taken off, was knocked off
These are
somehow.
little trees, I mean, they're.
Yeah, they're little.
That little tiny.
Right.
Two, 1.5 calibers.
There's a bunch of trees that need pruned, those little
Yeah.
trees need pruning in our area.
I used to do it
So
before
why
we had
can't
a
Mike
tree
and the guys
commission.
prove?
Yeah, can those guys just go through
Well, okay.
that area
They
and prune?
took the workshop.
They took the workshop, yes, they did, they did.
So that's my point. If the
Okay.
village employees are going to do it, then the village will take ownership.
Okay, we'll have the village employees do this. All the pruning, right? Okay, Cheryl Reifenberg at 119 Montgomery Street. The tree commission recommends that the tree be cut down. It's pretty close to Central Hudson lines, but based on the past Central Hudson requests we've had, I don't think they're going to take this down. It's farther away than other trees that we have wanted them to take down, but we could still ask them first.
It's always a good idea to
Right.
ask first.
Right. They recommend that D.D. Hunter at 16 Livingston Street be denied a permit to have the village prune a tree on her property. The tree does lean towards the house but does not appear to touch it. And there's a sidewalk issue there, which the tree commission's recommended they do a bridge over the route.
Well, if the sidewalk issue is from a street tree, then we've said that's our responsibility.
Okay. So, would we hire somebody to
You got to go look at it.
do a bridge? Well, I have looked at it. We'd have to hire somebody to try to do a bridge
I
over
haven't
the
looked
route.
at it. I want to go look at it.
Yeah. Okay. They recommend that David Miller Street, 93 East Market Street, be cut down. Small cherry tree, the village can do that one itself. The village highway department can do that one. And then there's also one at 27 Chestnut Street that is a very small tree.
which the village can take down also, the highway department.
Okay, so my question here is, we have a tree, to remove a small
She's
tree in a
hired
lawn
someone.
planted by the tree commission. Why are we taking out a tree that the tree commission planted?
It's dead. It was about 2 years ago.
It doesn't say it was
Wait.
dead.
She hired someone to take it, to do it for her.
Okay, well, she hired someone that could be.
It didn't say anything about being dead.
Yeah,
I was kind of curious why we were removing a tree that the tree commission put in.
yeah, didn't make it.
Okay.
So is the village doing that, or should we get it?
No, she's hired somebody. So I didn't notice that there. Then there's a question about some trees at the Woods property, which Michael Frazier, the husband of Cecily, remembers back in the 80s. This has to be looked into by the
Is that
planning
the one
board.
that fell down last week?
No, this is another one. This is a different one. Apparently, there was an agreement that the Woods would take care of trees on their property.
Okay, there was a big tree fell down there by that sidewalk last week.
Yeah, but no, this is in a different area.
Okay.
By the sidewalk one fell down?
Yeah. I think that's what they're talking about here.
No, this
It's
one's.
not in the
ble-
right-of-way. Cecily told Bryn that she was responsible for removing the tree. Also, Michael Frazier says that when the Woods property became before the planning board in the early 80s, it was agreed that the village would not be responsible for the property along the sidewalk. And it's that blacktop sidewalk that comes up the hill. It comes out to Astor Drive.
Yeah, and at one time we,
And I believe that's where this tree was. And there was a tree that fell down last week, and the Woods had to have a contractor come in and cut
maybe,
it all up.
maybe it fell down since our meeting.
I don't know if it's the same one. That's
But
what I'm asking.
Yeah,
But no, that's not our responsibility. That's their property.
I know, because we had talked about that pipe underneath the sidewalk in the past
Exactly.
and determined that
Yep.
that's their property, that's their problem.
Yep.
Now, there's this other issue of Sequoia Nero with the water department last month.
What's that?
He replaced the pipe, and she wanted to go around the tree,
It's the one over on Livingston Street, or South Street.
South Street, 55 South Street.
How did that get resolved?
My input on this is that this issue came to us too late. Okay?
All right,
We really didn't know anything about this water line repair and the sidewalk issue and the tree and all of this stuff. All right? And she already had the work set up to happen and sent me an email the night before at like 10 o'clock at night.
I didn't even.
Of course, I didn't get the email.
I didn't
And then the
know.
water department was there, Jeff Decker was there at 7 o'clock the next morning, beginning to work. I get in my office at 9 or 9:30, and I check, and here's this email from her, and she wants us to take responsibility for this. And she had already hired to have the work done. It was a service line replacement.
well, the other issue she has is the sidewalks were uplifted by the tree roots.
Well, again, if the tree is creating a problem for the sidewalk, we have said that we will help out with that.
Okay.
All right, so we gotta go look at it, we gotta determine what needs to be done. But the water part of it, that's not our responsibility.
Okay, if you want to go look at it, you and I go on a little
What are you doing
walkabout.
tomorrow morning?
Signing vouchers.
Okay, I'm here until 10:30.
Okay, I'll be here. First thing in the
So now
morning.
I don't feel so bad anymore using so much time for water.
That's what happens.
It's all because of the water department wanted to work. That's why we're spending a lot of time on this.
What happens when you're 100?
Yeah, I got that thing here somewhere.
Go ahead.
That's it. Meg Crawford is offering us some plantings to the village for free, and
Okay, I got a question for you about the 2014 tree planting. What about this fall, 2013? Doesn't say anything about that. Are they doing anything this fall?
yeah, we're doing something the first week in November, first Saturday in November.
Okay, so there was a question that I had brought up several times, I think over the last 2 or 3 tree plantings, was that there was trees that were supposed to be planted as part of the site plan over in Hines and Brandt's development.
Yeah.
Okay, in the circle part of it. And I had requested that if the tree commission was going to be doing some plantings, to please plant those trees. And I don't think that's ever been done. And what we need to do, and I thought you had looked at one time at the site plan, so that you knew where the trees had to
Well,
go.
we looked at the site plan, but it didn't say specific areas. It said it suggested trees be planted.
He's
What,
a-
right, Heinz? 'Cause you-
It should have a
It didn't
location for a
have it.
tree on the map.
Stotini suggested they have 2 trees on every property. And I think there's 3 properties that don't have any trees.
So I would like to see the tree commission include those.
Okay, but I believe that the site plan is not that, even that specific, 2 trees on each property.
Right, or no,
Yeah.
look at the site plan.
Because I did look at it with Karen.
Yeah, because he chopped,
Do that tomorrow morning.
Yes, tomorrow morning in between my
There
walkabout.
might be some language that,
Yeah, there was not specific.
I
Not
thought I had
specific
seen,
language either?
I thought I had seen tree locations on the site plan, but it's been a while since I looked at it.
Stortiniville.
Stotiniville.
I got 2 people from Stortiniville here. I got a lot of pressure on me.
You chose your poison.
There's another area that you mentioned it with the planning board, and somebody was supposed to plant a tree, site plan, and the tree died, and they haven't replaced it.
Where?
It's on Livingston Street.
It was part of site plan approval
Yeah.
for a property owner.
Mhm.
Then the property owner should replace the tree.
Yeah, I'll look into that one, too. The
If they
name,
were
the name
required-
escapes me, I know the number, but,
Is it Jeff Scales' place?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that was a part of the site plan approval, that he was supposed to plant a tree and it's died, then he should be replacing
Yeah,
it.
well, yeah.
Okay?
Okay, so,
And then what's this with it says the donation of the perennials, they want to do some planting somewhere?
we're talking about the V over by the hospital over there, the little entrance to Rhinebeck there.
Because that one lady plants all kinds of stuff out there.
Yeah, but she's kind of been letting it, she hasn't been, not that we expect her to, but she hasn't been on top of it. So, we're looking to beautify that for next year.
Okay, well, then my question is that I know for a while the village was taking care of it, then all of a sudden this woman started taking care of it. Whose property is it? That we got to look at.
I believe it's the village, but we have to look
Okay.
at that.
If it's the village property, then the tree commission can go ahead and just do something if they would like to. But the issue arises then what's going to happen as far as the maintenance. Okay?
Okay, then one other thing here, that Cecily emailed me, I think I emailed you this today, she's on vacation. Robert Lemkowitz at 115 Market Street requested some pruning done, but the tree commission requests that's not to be done because that's more an aesthetic thing, as she quotes here, and there's no safety hazards there. That's across from the deli there.
So you guys will be talking about this at your next tree commission meeting, right?
No, we talked about it at the last meeting. She forgot to put it
Oh, it
on,
was
she
on-
forgot to put it
okay.
on the minutes,
All
and
right.
she sent me another email
Okay.
yesterday. So I make a motion that we accept the tree minutes as read, as discussed.
You don't have to.
You don't have to approve the taking down of the trees or the pruning?
Taking
Well,
down of
yeah.
trees, yes.
Okay. I make a motion that we take down the trees discussed here and pruned, and the ones that has to be pruned.
All right, so the question is now, and we're talking about taking trees down, is Central Hudson going to be involved? Are we going to them first?
Yeah, we might go to them first for that one tree.
Because when you say take the trees down, that means the village board is approving that we're going to take the trees down.
Well, then we can leave that one for next month. So if you want me to read the trees, then,
Yeah, you got to distinguish.
I'm gonna take.
okay, here we go. These are the pruning. Ellen Moore, I make a motion that we approve the tree commission recommendations. Ellen Moore at 65 South Street for pruning. That's the only pruning one. Now,
Is
the
there a
other-
second? Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So voted.
Okay, now these are the takedown ones. David Miller, 93, I make a motion that we take down the trees at David Miller's house, 93 East Market Street.
Were we taking that one down?
Yeah, that's us.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Village Highway Department's a small tree.
Okay.
Cricket Langal at 27 Chestnut Street, and she's having somebody else do the work.
So that's not one.
We don't have to make a motion on that one.
Okay. And, I believe that's it.
And the one for Reifenberg, we're going to
We're
talk
gonna
to Central
talk-
Hudson
yeah,
first.
Yeah,
All right, so who's the one that we're approving? David Miller?
just David Miller.
All right, we got a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So voted. Is that it?
That's it.
Website, anybody got anything?
Nope.
Guys, you've been getting my press releases that I've been sending out,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Okay. Finance and controls.
No?
We have to establish a cash policy. We had talked about that prior. And, the comptroller's office, of course, was here and did their audit. We will be getting a final report from them probably by the end of August. They'll come back for an exit interview, Just so everybody's aware, there was some tightening up we need to do as far as checks and balances and those types of things. Quite frankly, they were very happy. They didn't find any major problems. It's just a matter of oversight issues and shared responsibilities as far as the water and the wastewater system and the billing.
So we should get something of a cash policy from them. Some suggestions.
They don't make those recommendations.
We can ask just what they think we should do.
I asked that. I said, do you have any policies that you recommend? And she said, no, we don't do that. All we do is provide you our findings. So, I think what we need to do is, this doesn't have to be complicated. It just needs to, for example, with mulch sales, no cash should be changing hands. It all should happen here. And, the order gets placed here, the money's received here, and then the order gets placed with the highway department for delivery. And then as far as disposing of scrap iron and metal and things like that, some type of policy for that. So we should get that in place as soon as possible. And what they'll come back to us with their list of recommendations, and then we are responsible for being sure that those recommendations are followed through on. So if we get it done ahead of time, they're going to come in here and say, oh, great, you already took the steps to correct it,
Some of them we already
And some of them we've already implemented, One of the things that the problem downstairs was that there wasn't, when somebody came up to the door, if they had a payment stub with them and made their payment, that was what was being used for a receipt. They said, no, you have to write a receipt out, and it should indicate on it that they paid with cash or check.
Okay.
Okay? So Pat's already doing that. There was a misconception on Pat's part that she had to do it with every payment that came to the office, even if it was mailed. Clearly not the case. It's only if somebody comes to the door,
Okay.
because you can't give somebody a receipt if they're mailing you a payment. They're not there.
What about that exterior drop box we have then? Do we have to discontinue that thing?
No. It's when the person is there in person.
When they're in-
And the big thing is, if they pay you in cash, you have to have a
Well, yeah.
receipt tied to that payment. And then
Is that Dropbox owned by the postal service, or is this ours?
No, it's just a closet.
it's ours.
Oh, it's ours. Because all the-
So, we should just, the finance and controls, we should be looking at that side of it and get something prepared, because it's going to be one of the requirements. Okay? We already did the energy consumption. Brant, what about the AT&T contract?
Yeah, I
You
want to talk about
that?
that. We have been approached by AT&T Wireless because they want to expand some equipment on the tower. And they approached us earlier about expanding the leased area to have a generator next to their equipment shelter. And now they are not asking for that anymore. They're not asking for change in the footprint of the leased ground. They may come back again for what will be a proposed third amendment to the tower lease agreement. But for now, they want to just add 3 panel antennas. There's 2 on each sector, and they'll add a third one right between the 2. So the sectors point in 3 different
triangle,
directions.
right?
Yeah. So they'll put one between them, which will be smaller than the 2 panels that are already up, and then they're going to have new cable lines for fiber and all these new digital things that they have, and some other hardware that'll go up there. But it'll be on the same height, about 70 feet is the center line for all their stuff on the tower. It's going to be subject to a structural analysis, which they've apparently conducted, and then Gary would approve that. From our end, what we need to do is approve the second amendment to tower lease agreement, which incidentally, they already have the ability to add these 3 antennas in their first amendment to the lease agreement. This is mostly, we're getting added revenue just for the lines and some additional equipment that's going to go up on the tower.
How much more money we got?
$5,445 a year, which comes out to $227 a month, because we have to split it with Crown Castle, who is our tower operator. Now, Crown has approved all this stuff. I looked it over and it looked good, and Rich has looked it over and it looks good. So I would like to approve this second amendment to tower lease agreement for AT&T Wireless for their.
Make a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the Second Amendment to Tower Lease Agreement for the AT&T Wireless tenant that we have on our tower that's owned by the village and operated by Crown Council.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted.
And we had additional money from Sprint just a few months ago, so we're getting a little, an additional $500 a month or something than we were last year, so that's good.
Good deal. Okay, Lisa, did you want to talk about the thing with Troy Banks?
Oh. Well, this is something that Gail had done before in previous years, where they will go in and they conduct an audit on our utilities. We don't pay anything, they'll get whatever they find, they'll take 50% of what they find. If you look, she did get some savings in the one email. If you look at that, she's got previously in 2001 for Central Hudson, we received 1,492 back. Frontier in 2008, 128. Frontier in 2009, 9,391. And Central Hudson in 2009, 4,939. So we wonder if this is something that you'd like to pursue this year. It's just basically signing a letter saying we agree to this, sending letters to our utility companies saying that we are giving them authority to discuss our accounts with Troy and Banks. And that's pretty much basically what it is.
No fee, no cost to us.
Yeah, it's like that, we got some money from Time Warner when we audited their bills.
So they actually crawl through the bills?
Yep.
Yep, yeah, I'll send a month, I'll send
They go through
1
and
month,
audit the
1 month
utility
of all
bills.
of our utility bills. And they'll go through.
Seems like a no-brainer to me.
Somebody make a motion.
I make a motion that we authorize Troy and Banks to perform this service for us.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So voted. Okay, anybody have any other business? Correspondence? We had received a letter from the hunters. One of them was the issue with the tree that Howie has already talked about. There's also a stump there that needs to be removed, so again, if we do this Bobcat purchase, we can do it. If not, we got to think about hiring a stump grinder to come in, probably, because we got a bunch of them that need to be done. And there's a problem with a sidewalk there, so we need to add that to your list. We need to go look at that one.
Yeah, I got that written
You
down.
already have that one?
16 Livingston,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, they had also requested another no parking sign in that permit zone. And I went over there and looked, and it's clearly marked with appropriate signage as far as I'm concerned. I don't see a need for another sign. We could put a sign in front of every house, you know? So this is an enforcement issue. If they're having a problem, they need to call the police and let the police know so the police can enforce it.
I agree.
Okay? Mad Dash sent us a letter. This is their annual request. They thanking us for our generous support of the Mad Dash race last year and let us know that their race is this Labor Day, September 2nd. So they are asking here that they have requested assistance from the New York State Troopers and also request the Village Police Department assistance with traffic control and runner safety between the hours of 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. And they needed help at Route 9 in Montgomery and Chestnut, Mount Rutson and River Road. The Mad Dash draws over 800 runners and community members, so your assistance is greatly appreciated. I'll make a motion to approve that the Village Police Department give them assistance. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Letter from the American Legion Post. They would like to request permission to hold their annual coin drop for veterans fundraiser on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, October 4th, 5th, and 6th. As in past years, they would like to set up on Route 9 just south of M&T Bank and on East Market Street in front of the municipal parking lot from the hours of 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. each day. Proceeds of this fundraiser will enable us to continue to provide outreach programs and rehabilitation to our returning heroes from conflicts abroad and continue community events we sponsor locally. Of course, we're cognizant of traffic issues and will work closely with police officials to ensure an orderly flow of traffic through the village. Thank you in advance for your consideration. Michael Bickle, Coin Drop Chairman. I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted. Did everybody get the correspondence from Jeff Romano?
Yes.
Okay. What's the take on this?
I have more questions about it.
Okay. You want to talk to Jeff then?
Yeah,
Okay. We'll table it for
I
now.
meant to, I
Yeah.
didn't get back to him. so.
We'll table it for now. All right, minutes approval. We got a whole slew of them here, folks.
Any of this stuff here? Oh, we talked about it.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing that requires our action. No. Okay, minutes from March 4th. Any additions, omissions, corrections? I'll make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, so voted. March 12th. I'll make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So voted. March 13th. We had a meeting every night that week. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? March 14th.
Jeez.
I'll make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So
Could I make a
voted.
comment?
Sure.
You did spell Brent Kowalczyk's name wrong, and,
Did I?
Yeah.
yeah, he
Kowalczyk.
appeared in 2 or 3 of those, and
I'll sit down with you. We'll go back and,
Okay.
I
make a little
can't
motion.
remember which one.
okay, April 1st. Was that the reorg meeting?
No.
No, there's a budget meeting, okay. The only change I see in that one, Lisa, is down in the bottom, zoning ordinance and events code for the fair. It references Law 1409. Law 1409 has nothing to do with the zoning ordinance and the events code. Law 1409 was the Senate bill in
Right.
Albany that was going
Oh,
to be,
okay.
make an amendment to fairgrounds legislation,
Okay.
okay? We need a motion to, make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So voted. April 4th, one correction in there. And in paragraph number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it talks about Robert Fennell's letter regarding signage. It says Mayor Reardon will speak to the offending business owners. What I had said was that I would ask to address the Chamber of Commerce membership. I am not going to go to the individual business owners.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
April 8th, second paragraph. There will be no rental of the Mobile Station, new pimping. It should be, there will be no rental of the mobile station, no pumping of the
Yes.
septic, etc.
So where your mind is here.
Oh, there goes all our money.
We're not pimping them out. Okay. April 8th, I'll make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? April 9th, Northern Dutchess Hospital pilot program down at the bottom. Don't write these all down. I'll just go over them with you. All right? The change I'm going to suggest there, it says Kirchhoff Properties. It says Gene Steringer, attorney who represents Kirchhoff Properties, period. And then it says would like to build an expansion on the property. All right? It says Gene Steringer, attorney who represents Kirchhoff Properties, which would like to build an
Yeah.
expansion on the property.
Okay.
All right, motion to approve.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so voted. May 30th, motion to approve,
What is it?
special meeting. You got it, right?
No, I just want to, yeah, I got it on my machine, I don't have it in my hand. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, these were all minutes that she had sent us.
And-
Yeah, we were,
I just wondered what it was.
Yeah, it was a special meeting. executive session, personnel matters.
Yeah, okay, now I remember, okay.
Okay. Motion to approve?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Oh, I had this misfiled. This is from February 25th. One correction I
That was
have.
last, and
It says escape and rescue gear, which includes safety harnesses and line for jumping from buildings, and it's line for rappelling from buildings. They're not going to jump out. And
We have approved this already, right?
I will make a motion to approve that.
second.
Is it, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, so voted. That's all I got.
More.
Water and sewer adjustments.
Before we go there, I have a question about the budget. I got some sheets from it, but I don't know exactly what it means.
These numbers?
What do you mean you don't know what it
No,
means?
no, 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 no,
No, we're gonna discuss those.
Oh.
We're gonna discuss those, he's
Yeah.
talking.
this here, right?
Yeah,
Okay. Later? Okay.
yep.
Water adjustments. I changed the format to be more readable and understandable. This month, we had 24 adjustments. The majority of them had to do with new accounts and tapping fees. There were 5 tapping fees and 9 tapping fees and 5 new accounts. There is also an item on there on final bills, and final bills in that case means that if a house was sold or any other transaction, this is for closing, just when you get your water, your oil bill and so on at the end of your life in the house. So this is the majority of them. One of them has to do with there was a house grandfathered on Morton Road since 2005. And that was because they said they got bad water that had a lot of particulates, turbidity in it. And there's actually now 2 more houses beyond that, also on the end of the line. And Tom, I had asked when I took this job here to start looking at this and take measurements of this property, and we have done that for close to 6 to 7 months. And all the readings were in line. Now, what we have done, though, is we have like a sprinkler, a little hydrant there that we turn on 15 minutes every day and run the water to it, so nothing gets stagnant in there. And we tested the water, I think 3 times a week, and we found nothing. I presented the owner of the property with that, and told him that we would have to pay the bill of the cost of the water. He had water bills sometimes of $500 in a quarter that we had to write down to $54 and so on. And so now, the last one we wrote down for $102 because of the timing involved, but from here on out, he has to pay the full amount. He said he was using the water to purify, so he kept it just running and running and running. And but he also has a big garden there, but this is now stopped for the time being. So there's 2 more items here have to do with applied payments applied in the wrong accounts, and one of them is the police stations, which we don't charge, and the other one was another incorrect appliement of penalties, and they were removed. So there's 24 items. I want to make a motion to approve these adjustments as
Is there
stated.
a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, so voted.
And I give, from now on, I give Lisa a copy of this, which you have here already, to attach it to the meetings.
Okay,
I got some too. And a lot of these should jibe with his. For wastewater adjustments, $114.75, account number 21182S, a final bill. $39.56, another final bill for account number 40044S. 3 startup fees at $25 each for account numbers 40092S, for S93S, and 211882S. And then 8 tapping fees for account numbers 400994S through 4101S. 8 tapping fees for the gardens, which is good. I mean, that's $6,000, but that means that they're They're getting these things
We're
sold.
online.
They're pretty
Yeah,
much all
right.
sold out, I understand.
First phases.
Yeah.
Are they really?
Yeah.
That's
I
awesome.
think
That's
they only had
great.
6 left.
That
Okay,
is
so we
great.
need a motion to approve.
To make them, oh, they did a motion to approve.
Oh,
I make a
sorry.
motion to approve those as I read them.
Is there a second?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So voted. What do we got here? Oh, yeah, this is something from the County Human Resources Department, all right? And ultimately, I'm the sole responsibility for appointing authority, all right? But in the event something were to happen to me, there needs to be a second in command. So Howie is deputy mayor, as long as he doesn't have a problem, I'm gonna put him down there.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead? You're supposed to say yes, go ahead.
Yes, go ahead. No, you said, do I have a problem?
I thought you said
I
no,
don't
drop
have
dead.
a- No, I don't have a problem.
Okay. So Howie's gonna be on there, Lisa. All right. Anybody have anything else?
Here's the lease. We should probably create 2 originals for Jim to sign, if you can.
Okay.
Okay, and Rich will want one for his file too. Okay? Nothing else?
Well, I want to talk about the budget here.
Are we talking about this thing here?
No.
No.
We gotta
Oh, okay.
look at it. We just got it, so look at it, all right, and then we're gonna sit down and talk about it later.
Okay.
Okay? Any other business? Motion to adjourn, please.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So voted. Thank you, gentlemen.